जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यमुनातीर वनचारी। यमुनातीर वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय जय प्रभुपद 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 श्रील प्रभुपद। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोदश श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, इस्कॉन बिपुटी फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा राधानाथ की, श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य महाप्रभु की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 21, chapter entitled as Instructions by Maharaj Prithu. Verse 13. Ekadasin Mahasatra Ekadasin Mahasatra Diksha Tatra Divaukasam Diksha Tatra Divaukasam Samajo Brahmarshinam cha Samajo Brahmarshinam cha Rajarshinam cha Sattama Rajarshinam cha Sattama Ekadasin Mahasatra Diksha Tatra Divaukasam Samajo Brahmarshinam cha Rajarshinam cha Sattama Ekadasin Mahasatra Diksha Tatra Divaukasam Samajo Brahmarshinam cha Rajarshinam cha Sattama. Brahmarshinam cha Rajarshinam cha Sattama Ekadasin Mahasatra Diksha Tatra Divaukasam Samajo Brahmarshinam cha Rajarshinam cha Sattama Ekadasin Mahasatra Diksha Tatra Divaukasam Samajo Brahmarshinam cha Rajarshinam cha Sattama Ekada, once upon a time, Asi took a vow. Mahasatra, great sacrifice. Diksha, initiation. Tatra, in that function. Divaukasam, of the demigods. Samaja, assembly. Brahmarshinam, of great saintly Brahmanas. Cha, also. Rajarshinam, of great saintly kings. Cha, also. Sattama, the greatest of devotees. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Once upon a time, King Prithu initiated the performance of a very great sacrifice, in which great saintly sages, Brahmanas, demigods from higher planetary systems, and great saintly kings known as Rajarshis all assembled together. Purport. In this verse, the most significant point is that although King Prithu's residential quarters were in India between the rivers Ganges and Yamuna, the demigods also participated in the great sacrifice he performed. This indicates that formerly the demigods used to come to this planet. Similarly, great personalities like Arjuna, Yudhishthira, and many others used to visit higher planetary systems. Thus, there was interplanetary communication via suitable airplanes and space vehicles. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadagamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha Namahom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ekadas in Mahasatra Diksha Tatra Divokasam Samaj Brahmarshinam cha Rajarshinam cha Sattama. So once again, with the kind blessings and permission of all the assembled devotees, especially Sri Shuddhi Prabhu, today we are hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam in continuation of the yesterday's verse. So till the verse 12th, this 12, 13, 14 speaks about, the verse 12 we have heard about Sarvatra Skhalita Adesha Saptad Ipaika Dandadrak. So Maharaj Prithu's impact or influence on the earthly planet that we have heard. And now in next two verses, what kind of like reciprocation he had with the saintly people, even with the demigods on the heavenly planets. That has been mentioned here. Once upon a time, King Prithu initiated the performance of a very great sacrifice. Ekada means once upon a time. It's not exactly mentioned when, but once upon a time he was performing the yajna, and at that time Rajarshinam, Brahmarshinam, Sattama and Divaukasam. 4 categories has been mentioned. So all the saintly kings were there, even the great Brahmanas were there, and also Vaishnavas were assembled. And at the same time, we see that even the demigods also came there. Srila Prabhupada has emphasized a lot on this. Bhagavad Gita also, as Krishna speaks to Arjuna in the 3rd chapter about the importance of performing action, that even to maintain your own body, one must perform action. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, till verse 8, he speaks about the importance of performing action. And then how one should perform the action. So he says that yagyarthat karmanonyatra loko yam karma bandhana. That one should perform the activity for the pleasure of the yagya purusha. And then Krishna, if you take like verse, Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 verse from 10 to 12, Krishna speaks about sa yagya praja sushtva puro vacha prajapati anena prasavishedam esha vostishta kamaduk. When the Lord has created this world, there are two different categories Krishna is saying there. One is the demigods and second the human beings. Saha yagya praja srishtva, after creating the human beings, and then he has also given this method of sacrifice. And what is the purpose of the sacrifice? Anena prasavishedam. Esha vostishta kamaduk. Be thou happy by this yagya, as the Lord has instructed to the human beings. So by the performance of yagya, it will bestow ishtakam. Ishtakam means it will bestow all the desirable, everything which is desirable, to live happily. All the desires will be fulfilled by performance of yagya. And Srila Prabhupada also translates, and it will also award the liberation. And then he says, the next verse, Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantuha prasparam bhavayanta shreya paramavapsyata. So that when the demigods will be pleased with your sacrifice, they will please you. So there is a mutual reciprocation. The human beings will please the demigods, and the demigods will please the human beings. This parasparam, the mutual bhavayanta, the mutual pleasing each other. Shreya paramavapsyata. So Srila Prabhupada translates, the demigods being pleased by sacrifice will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. So I'm just reading the purport of Srila Prabhupada. The demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs. The supply of air, light, water, and all other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity is entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their pleasures and displeasures are dependent on the performance of yagyas by the human being. Some of the yagyas are meant to satisfy particular demigods, but even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all the yagyas as the chief beneficiary. And then Prabhupada writes different things. Performance of yagya has many side benefits, ultimately leading to the liberation from the material bondage. By performance of yagyas, all the activities become purified. So the different purpose which Srila was mentioning, one is the human beings have what are the desires they have. If they want to fulfill all the desire, if they want abundance in their life, if they want to get purified the most important activity is the yajna, the sacrifice. And as Srila Prabhupada says, yajna is one of the name of Krishna also. So ultimately yajna means pleasing Krishna, the activity which, once we offer something, like in yajna they offer the oblations, similarly we offer the things to which we are very much attached. We offer that for the pleasure of Krishna. That is called as sacrifice. So I was just going through a conversation of I think a devotee has asked a question to His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. And there, I'll just read, it was very nice, where the same kind of question has been asked to Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Do higher beings always have our interest at heart? Is there a way we can receive messages from them directly? Like, do we have like some kind of communication with the demigods? Like we have the WhatsApp or the email. So how to communicate with them? Do they really listen to us? Do they reciprocate? And then Bhakti Maharaj has spoken a lot about different kind of religions also, what kind of belief they have. I'll just read some of that part. Of the numerous demigods in our universe, some are deeply God conscious and always try to act for benefit of everyone. However, at times a demigod can become mischievous or deviant, much like a bloop devotee who was involved in a system which is legitimate but has chosen to deviate from it. Besides the demigods, there are asuras or demons. Demons often wield the same power as the demigods, who are very powerful and mystically endowed. But they are literally bent on bringing about chaos and destroying God consciousness. So now Maharaj speaks about different religions. In the Christian tradition, we read about the sons of God mating with the daughters of man. The superhumans, lower than demigods, previously interacted on this particular level. Is there? I think it might be mentioned Bible, I don't know. The whole earth planet was originally seeded by higher beings. The entities that occupy this planet nowadays are not the original beings of this particular planet. One spiritual tradition after another tells us that previously human beings had bodies like giants and abilities that today would be considered supernatural. Superman kind of thing. Nowadays we are still subject to higher monitors who oversee our activities. These monitors are not necessarily spiritual beings but of a higher capacity than ourselves. Now another thing Maharaj speaks, what people now term Greek mythology, Roman mythology and Indic mythology speak of times when there were ongoing interactions between entities on this planet and entities in the heavenly kingdoms. Currently scholars term these histories mythology as they are blind to the fact that these narratives convey universal truths far beyond what they can comprehend with their present mindsets. During the time of Lord Buddha, interaction between superhumans and demigods with humans on earth decreased drastically. So as we say, like especially in Kali Yuga, the people have become so much impure, so much degraded that demigods hardly appear on this planet, or demigods hardly can be perceived, or they can reciprocate with us. But before Lord Buddha's descent, priests would frequently perform yajnas or sacrificial ceremonies in order to invite higher entities to come to earth and interact with them. Previously, pious people had the ability to be in tune with the universal governance and to be able to reciprocate appropriately with higher beings. But now the planet has become so thick with mundane collective consciousness that these entities are not eager to come. I was just hearing I think it's in Mahabharata. Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Yeah. In Mahabharata, there's a description where it's mentioned that the demigods were not giving the pious benefits of the sacrifice from the earth for a long time. So finally the demigods approach Lord Brahma and they're saying, we are not getting anything, there's no supply, so there is scarcity, means we are not getting the sacrificial results now. So what's the reason? And there Brahma speaks about that the mother earth has been called as Medini, one of the word Medini. Like when it's mentioned that there is a whole story of like how Lord Narayan has asked Brahma to create the world. And then after getting this Vedic knowledge, Brahma became a little bit proud. So, to destroy the pride of Brahma, from Lord's, his own ears, two demons appeared. And they are called as Madhu and Kaitava. So the Madhu and Kaitava, these demons appeared and they have stolen the Vedas from Brahma. When they have stolen the Vedas from Brahma, then Brahma became bereft of Vedic knowledge, it's mentioned. I don't know how, means initially we hear that the Vedas were in oral form, oral reception form. But here it's mentioned that the Vedas were stolen by Madhu Kaitava. And then these two asuras, Madhu Kaitava, they started performing austerities. They pleased Mother Durga. And when Mother Durga became pleased, they asked for the benediction. So Mother Durga said, okay, whatever you want, I can offer you. And at the time they requested, they should get the Ichha Mrityu, Vardhan, the benediction. Ichha Mrityu, like the Vishnu Pitama, that they will die only when they will desire. So that was they got this benediction. And because of that, then no one was able to kill them. They became very strong. Finally, even when Lord Narayan appeared, it's mentioned there, they had the war for thousands of years. But Lord Narayan could not kill them. And at last then, Lord Narayan stopped the war. And he said that you have really fought well. So as a compliment, I would like to give some boon to you. So Lord Narayan is saying to Madhu and Kaitava, I want to give some boon. But they were so arrogant. This Madhu and Kaitava said, what boon you will give to us? We can give you some boon. Madhu Kaitava said to Lord Narayan that we are so powerful now, we are powerful enough, we can give you some benediction. And as soon as the Lord heard this, he became said that, okay, you will give me the benediction, whatever I will ask you. He said, yes, whatever you will ask, we will give you. And then Lord Narayan said, I only have the desire that you both should die. So they are not anticipating this, that Lord Narayan will say this. So then said, okay, we'll die but you also said at the end of the war that you also want to give us the benediction. So still that offer is available for us. And Lord said, yeah, I can also give you one benediction. And there it's mentioned that that they wanted to be killed, but they should be killed at a place there is no water. the place where there is no water, and on that place they can be killed. So at that time, because the creation was not complete, the whole world was filled with water. So Madhukaitap thought that there is no place, there is no water. So how the Lord can kill us? And then it's mentioned that Lord immediately appeared as the Hayagriva, the face of horse, Hayagriva avatar, it said. And then he started fighting with them, and then I think he put them on the lap and he crushed them. And when he crushed them, it's mentioned here, yeah. He slapped them and very hardly crushed them, and whatever the fat was there in the body of Madhu and Kaitava, he just started spreading them with the hand. So it's mentioned that the whole earth, the Mother Earth, was rubbed by Lord with the medha. Medha means the fat we say. The medha of this Madhu and Kaitava was spread all over the earth planet. So Brahma is saying, because the demigod is asking why we are not getting the results of the sacrifice. So Brahma is saying the whole earth planet was rubbed by the medha of this Madhu Kaitava Asura. So that's the reason the Mother Earth has become a little bit impure. So how to purify that Mother Earth? So it's mentioned there, Brahma says that you have to apply the cow dung and cow urine wherever you perform the yajna. So now we see that wherever we do the yajna, they put the cow dung. So by applying this cow dung and cow urine, then that place becomes purified. Then only whatever sacrifice it will offer, that will go to the demigods. So also I was just reading this. We'll continue what Bhakti Maharaj is saying. That previously, pious people had the ability to be in tune with universal governance and to be able to reciprocate appropriately with higher beings. But now the planet has become so thick with mundane collective consciousness that these entities are not eager to come. Many entities who were commissioned to work on this plane are no longer involved. Higher beings want to come to an environment in which they can relate. This is another description, I think, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 9th canto of Maharaj Pururava. Maharaj Pururava got attracted with Urvashi, and Urvashi also got the curse, so she has to live on the earthly planet for some time. So then we see that she put some condition that I think two or three conditions were there. One is she will eat preparations made of pure ghee. So I just hearing from in a lecture that in the heavenly planets they have very pure food. Ahara Shuddha ahar they say. Not like they are having some non-veg, but they are eating egg or flesh. So whatever is made up from the cow's ghee, that is only the demigods are accepting. And also another thing is, I don't want to see you naked other time. I think there are two conditions. And I think she had some goats that should be taken care. So one thing is the demigods, I think Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto also, where Prahlad Maharaj is offering prayers to Lord Nrsingadev. So demigods are always on the mode of goodness. So they will only reciprocate with them those who are completely situated in mode of goodness. So at present, the majority of the people are fully engrossed with the tamo guna and rajo guna. Their life is so impure. Especially like many things. Another thing I heard, I don't know the exactly Shastric reference, but I heard that the people, those who eat meat, non-veg, whatever means their worship will never be accepted by any demigod. Demigods doesn't come to their home where there is a non-vegetarian thing, where they, what to speak of non-vegetarian, even I have heard is mentioned, I think in the Mahabharata speaks about, like the people, those who keep dog at their home. The demigods don't accept any worship by the person who keep dogs. Dog is also called as one of the, although Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Pandita Samadarshina Shuni Chaiva Shopakecha. One should have the equal vision amongst the dog eater, the Brahmanas. So, to be having an equal vision is one thing, but to having, like keeping them with us, taking care of them, that is not recommended by the Vedic scriptures. And there are many reasons. They say that anything if you keep in front of the dog will touch with the mouth. It makes the impure. It smells, and then I don't know what kind of, what problem dog has with the Tulsi Maharani. So, I have not seen much dogs here in South Africa. I don't know what rule we have. In India, we see a lot of dogs on the street. So, dog will see, I don't know about other plants, but whenever he'll see the Tulsi, he'll pass urine on the Tulsi. So, like that, there are many things. So, Mahabharata says that one who keeps the dog, demigods won't come to their home. Demigods will not accept any worship. Even the Pitras, the Pitar, or ancestral fathers, we have the Shraddha, we do the Pindadana. So they also don't accept the worship from one who is keeping the dog. And there's a name of one Asura is there. One Rakshasa is there. If you just keep a dog at your home, that demon, as mentioned in Mahabharata, he takes away all your punya. Just if you keep a dog. And what to speak of someone who is killing and who are eating the flesh. So the present whole environment has become so much degraded that hardly demigods want to reciprocate with them. And then Bhakti Maharaj says, like, one famous pastime, many of you might have heard, but even now demigods will arrive if we have the appropriate consciousness to attract them. And then His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj gives the example of, once Srila Prabhupada was preaching in New York, the devotees surrounded him dancing and singing kirtan. Srila Prabhupada seemed to be looking over a particular corner. Prabhupada was looking at the corner of the room. And he was smiling while looking at that corner. He was like nodding and then like acknowledging that someone is there. So later on, when Srila Prabhupada went to his room, devotees came there and asked like, Prabhupada, you're looking at this particular corner. And then you were smiling also. And then Srila Prabhupada mentioned that actually Narad Muni came. I think there are few times Shuddhi Prabhu could share more, I think. Like a few times different places Srila Prabhupada experienced the demigods have appeared, the Narad Muni has appeared. So Srila Prabhupada had that pure vision he could experience. So even what to speak of the demigods, all our acharyas also, like we hear about Srila Prabhupada having the darshan of Srila Rupa Goswami, sometimes we hear about like Radha Damodar temple. So, like this, there are many acharya, something we know, many things we even don't know. Like all these pure devotees, the empowered acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, he must be having a reciprocation with many. We don't know, like I was hearing once in lecture when King Pratap Rudra, he started reciting the Gopi Gita, Tava Kathamrutam Tapta Jivanam, and Lord Chaitanya became very pleased. And he became so much pleased that immediately started embracing King Pratap Rudra. So I was hearing from one of the Prabhupada disciples, he was telling, you can just imagine, just by speaking the glories of Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam once, Lord Chaitanya becomes so much pleased. Bhurida Jana, you are most magnanimous. And Lord Chaitanya embraced. So he said, we can just imagine how many times Lord Chaitanya must have embraced Srila Prabhupada, who has really spread the glories of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita all over the world. Practically everyone got, completely the life got transformed by the message of Bhagavatam given by Srila Prabhupada. So here, I just read it. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Narad Muni, a very powerful higher being, had appeared during the Kirtan. Due to Srila Prabhupada's purity, Narad Muni, a transcendental spaceman who travels to different universes purely for Krishna's service, had appeared during the Kirtana to celebrate the pioneering of Krishna consciousness in the West. Elevated beings such as Narada can come based on the quality of our devotion. Sing. One does not have to wait until he or she leaves this physical body to know that God consciousness is alive and real, to believe that there are demigods, or to believe that even the Supreme Lord can be approached. If one becomes sufficiently pure, he can experience those things here also. As we develop the consciousness of the higher realms, we begin to unfold and lose some of our soul's dormancy. We are currently situated in the spiritual kingdom with wonderful spiritual connections, but we are sleeping. The spiritual process is like waking up. It allows us to experience what is already present. Remember that for one to have contact with higher realm is natural, and to not have contact is unnatural. Saying, His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj. So I just was looking at this. So even the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto is mentioned where Maharaj Parikshit was performing sacrifice. 16th chapter, text 3. Ajaharshva medham strim gangayam bhuri dakshinan Sharadatvam gurum krutva deva yatrakshi gochara. So there also specific word has been used by Suta Goswami. Deva yatra akshi gochara. Akshi means eyes and gochara means visible. The demigods, Maharaj Parikshit, after having selected Krupacharya for guidance as a spiritual master, performed the Ashwamedha Yajna on the bank of the Ganges. This was executed with lavish rewards for the attendants, and at this sacrifice, even the common man could see the demigods. So that was the power of Maharaj Parikshit. The common human beings also could see the demigods, here he said. So there's much more, like there's a whole lecture of Srila Prabhupada. I was just on this first canto, chapter 16, text 3. And Srila Prabhupada speaks about many different things. Now, Prabhupada starts that now people say that we do not see, why we do not see the demigods? So the answer should be, where is your sacrifice? What sacrifice have you done? So demigods will appear. The demigods, they are not so cheap. Just like the king or the president, does he come anywhere who is so cheap? Common man. Where the king or the demigods or great sage like Narad Muni will come, that place also must be worth coming there. And then Prabhupada again speaks about the interplanetary interactions. So previously the yagyas are also performed to check the purity of one's consciousness. It's mentioned that previously there are pure brahmanas. Just by chanting the mantras, the fire used to appear in the sacrifice. The demigods were appearing. So at the present age, we can say, Srila Prabhupada summarized the whole thing, that we can have the reciprocation with the demigods, with the saintly people, with all the previous acharyas, and even with Krishna, when we will sincerely perform the yagya which is recommended for this yuga. And that is called as the Sankirtan yagya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then yeah. So I was just reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita section where Srila Prabhupada emphasized a lot on this. In the Nectar of Devotion commentary by Srila Rupa Goswami speaks about Srila Rupa Goswami says that there are innumerable limbs of devotional service. Ananta prakarashu sadhana bhaktishu. That there are innumerable limbs are there of devotional service. And out of that, Srila Sanatana Goswami, he has mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilas, Laksha Angeshu kaha gaya. Laksha Angeshu matlab, you can say 1 lakh. 1 lakh limbs of devotional service has been mentioned by Sanatana Goswami Hari Bhakti Vilas. And from that, Rupa Goswami says, the 64 prime limbs I am mentioning here in this Nectar of Devotion. And then he starts filtering. And out of that, then he says, Tara Madhya, the Navada Bhakti, which has been mentioned by Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam, that is the prime. And out of that Navada Bhakti, then finally comes to Tara Madhya Sarva Shrestha Nama Sankirtana Nirapradha Nama Laile Paye Prema Dhana. So there, in that verse, Srila Prabhupada has given a commentary by Srila Jiva Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami speaks and emphasized a lot on this Harinam Sankirtan. He has given the verse and then the translation goes like this. Chanting of the holy name is the chief means of attaining love of Godhead. This chanting or devotional service does not depend on any paraphernalia nor on one's having taken birth. That details are there. And other place, then Srila Prabhupada speaks about Eka Krishna Nama Kare Sarva Papa Shaya. Just one name of Krishna can destroy all the sinful reactions. There, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport from the Bhakti Sandarbha, what Jiva Goswami mentions. Yadyapi anya bhakti kalau kartavya. Although there are 64 limbs has been mentioned, although there are 9 limbs has been mentioned, but in Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is Harinam Sankirtan. So what does that mean? So Dharma means which holds. Any activity will come in the category of religious when it will be done along with the chanting of the holy name. So there Prabhupada translates, out of the 9 processes of devotional service, Kirtan is the most important. Srila Jiva Goswami therefore instructs that the other process such as Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam should be executed, but they must be preceded and followed by Kirtan, the chanting of the holy name. So before that Archanam and after the Archan. Before Vandanam, after the Vandanam. I heard one devotee was mentioning, I think Shuddhi Prabhu could add something more. During Srila Prabhupada's times, Srila Prabhupada, when he was lecturing, before the lecture they used to have a kirtan, and after the lecture, Prabhupada, okay, let's have the kirtan. So most of the part, Srila Prabhupada used to do Sankirtan more, and talk was like, used to be short. So Prabhupada is like walking his talk, you can say. We have therefore introduced this system in all of our centers. Archana, Aarti, Bhoga offering, deity dressing, decoration are all preceded and followed by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I was just also hearing from Sripad Aindra Prabhu, and he was also explaining the same context about the Yuga Dharma Sankirtan Yajna, that somehow in the Sankirtan movement, the Sankirtan is getting neglected now. That's the only thing which will destroy all the, whatever the, here we see that what are the scarcity, what are the evil effects of Kali Yuga are there, whatever problems are there, everything will get solved only through the execution of the Harinam Sankirtan. And then Indra Prabhu was mentioning that in the early days of Krishna consciousness movement, devotees, most of the time they were performing Sankirtan. They're not having like, there are no many temples. So from morning to evening they used to go on the street and all the time chanting of Hare Krishna. Practically on the every corner of the city you'll see the devotees dancing and chanting. And all over the, almost in the US, New York, in San Francisco, it becomes so much popular that practically devotees everywhere they're chanting Hare Krishna. So that's why people started calling us Hare Krishna people. Why we are called as Hare Krishna people? Because only thing we are doing in the initial days, and Shiva Indra was to say that the early days of Krishna consciousness movement, we used to perform Sankirtan for 6 hours, 8 hours, and sometimes even 14 hours. They used to have some like cart and they used to do Kirtan. So the Kirtan was very much practically, it was like almost in the blood of the devotees. Everywhere they were like chanting Hare Krishna, they're on the street, they're on the plane, they're on the bus. And now the Sankirtan has become the duty Sankirtan. You understand? Like just in the morning Mangala Arati, for 10 minutes we chant Hare Krishna, and then Guru Puja we have Mahamantra a little bit. And then practically there's no Mahamantra. Many times it doesn't even happen. So even when this Kurma Brahmana asked Lord Chaitanya that how this the waves of the material desires, they are always disturbing me. So what should be the solution? I want to accompany you, I want to go with you, because if I live here, I will get influenced by the Maya. So what is the solution? So Lord Chaitanya also gives the solution. 2 solutions Lord Chaitanya has given. First he says, Prabhu kahe aiche baat kabhu na kahibo, grihe rahi Krishna naam nirantar laibo. 2 things are required if you want to remain aloof from Maya. The first thing is grihe rahi. Lord Chaitanya said, live at your home. You don't need to leave the home. Live in the home. But the most important thing, grihe rahi Krishna naam nirantar laibo. Incessantly, constantly, you have to chant the holy name. The way we are breathing, that is the goal. Like someone asked Srila Prabhupada, yesterday I was just speaking with some devotee. Someone asked Srila Prabhupada, what is the result of chanting Hare Krishna? And Prabhupada said, the result of chanting Hare Krishna is more chanting. How you can understand that you have really chanted good? So Prabhupada says that if you chant 16 rounds and then you feel, why only 16? Why not 16,000? So that is a purpose, to get more and more taste. And practically the whole our life, we need to have that Harinam Sankirtan. So, Sripad Aindra Prabhu was telling in his, I just read his transcription, he said that Yuga Dharma is Harinam Sankirtan. So, any limb of devotional service, you are doing sadhu sangha, you are doing deity worship, you are staying in a Vrindavan Dham, none of the limb will give any result if it will not be with Harinam Sankirtan. So Sankirtan has to be the must thing. And then I was just discussing with another very senior leader. We hear like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj used to say that this book distribution is called as Brihad Murdanga. And we said, this is the Sankirtan. So I asked someone the question, why book distribution is called Sankirtan? And then eventually I came to know that the Srila Prabhupada is an empowered Acharya, we say. Shaktyavesh Avatara, sometimes devotees say. So he has that empowerment. And what was the empowerment? His books are full of Harinam Sankirtan. As soon as someone will get the book of Srila Prabhupada, as soon as someone will touch the book of Srila Prabhupada, he will. Yesterday we were at the fuel station. I went somewhere, and at the fuel station, one was filling the diesel in the car. Immediately he came to us and said, "Oh, what you say? Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna." I said, "Yes, yes." And then he immediately told that I have met here some devotees, and they chant this mantra. So I was very happy. At least it's very rare to see here. People are not very much aware of this Hare Krishna movement, and especially in the Western countries we see. So Srila Prabhupada books has that very unique empowerment. Although the Vedic scriptures are there, the Bhagavatam is there, Shastras are there, but when they got translated by Srila Prabhupada, it got the potency. Anyone will get the book, he will start chanting Hare Krishna. So that is the reason that I got convinced. Because first I heard from Aindra Prabhu this thing that the Yuga Dharma is Sankirtan, Sankirtan. We should constantly do Sankirtan. That is the most important thing. As soon as the holy name will stop, immediately the effect of Kali Yuga will come in your life. So then they say that, but then other part I heard is like the book distribution is most important. That is also Sankirtan, that is a real Sankirtan, they say. Because that will have more effect. If you just chant the holy name, someone will listen the holy name and he'll get purified. But when he'll get the book, he himself will start practicing the chanting of the holy name. So that is like have more impact. So the purpose of the yajna is to please Krishna. And how we can please Krishna? So he said, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. By pleasing the spiritual master, one can please Krishna. So the equation could be like the purpose of yajna, or the success of yajna is if one can please the spiritual master. And especially for us is Srila Prabhupada. If we can please Srila Prabhupada, that will be the real success of yajna. So, sorry, I just went over the time. I don't know. Thank you very much. Shuddhi Prabhu, please, if you could add something. Because Prabhuji has really experienced much. Just one. You can give this.
But Prabhupada concentrated on the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, and especially for Western people, it's so much easier just to have the mantra written there in the front of the temple, and then people can follow that, for the first time. That's an easy thing. The other thing is Prabhupada would not, he very rarely did the Mangalacharana. He would read the verse and then go straight into the class. Sometimes, like he does that when he started the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, he did all of that, but he wouldn't do that offering so many prayers. He would read the verse and go straight to it. And I actually find that to be, it goes from the verse to the explanation. It's I rarely heard him read all the prayers to the 6 Goswamis and to everyone else. It's something we seem to have introduced more. He did it sometimes, but not on a regular basis. And then it's funny, you're talking about the beings that were on Earth. They say that on the internet and the History Channel, that there was giants here. They call them the Anunnaki, and they always pictured with their hand in a bag. But it always says, where did they come from? Where did they go, and are they coming back? So we don't have any information on this, do we? But those were original beings here. I guess we have to deal with now, just like Gaur Narayan comes more often than Lord Chaitanya, but Lord Chaitanya is our reality now. So we study Lord Chaitanya, not Gaur Narayan. All right, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. I think they benefited more from you than me. Thank you. Yeah, you mentioned, like throughout the history of this creation, isn't we see the Egyptians, there's still like a mystery how all these things came, they weigh like 1 ton, this little, to build these pyramids. So who did it? They still like, there was, so what there was, like the higher beings were here, and the Aztecs, and throughout wherever there was civilization, they were very much involved there. Yeah? And you speak of the Nagas, the Nagas, like the snake, so they were also very intelligent, and they were ruling this planet. There's also some thing like that. And then when you spoke about communicating with the demigods, I was thinking of Queen Kunti when she got that benediction from Durvasa Muni, he gave her mantras, whichever demigod she would summon, and the sun god and Indra. So yeah, mantras are very powerful, they can manifest. Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.